What is going on, guys? This is going to be an informative tutorial on what you need to know for Draft Champions in NHL 17. So obviously Draft Champions is in FIFA and it's also in Madden. It is a very popular game mode. So once you hop into this, you get to either play solo or you get to play head to head, which is against another random opponent online. And when you come into Draft Champions, you're going to be greeted with a few different themes. You can see here we got Movember alumni, under 25 years old, European descent, and the best of the World Cup. So these themes are going to be changing throughout the course of NHL 17. They're going to be changing up every single draft that you go into. You can see here you got around the world again, which is players from around the world. You got another European descent. You got south of the border. There's so many cool ones this year. You got Canadians, you got All-Star alumni, Stanley Cup champions, and each theme has individual different players that fit to that theme. So obviously if you choose the Stanley Cup winner theme, obviously you're going to get players who have won the Stanley Cup, i.e. Nicholas Lidstrom, Ray Bourque, Sidney Crosby. A bunch of those players are going to be uniquely fitted into that specific theme. And whatever theme you choose is going to give you a base set of players before you draft your team. Sometimes it's 83 overall, sometimes you're only at like a 70 overall. Obviously that is going to change once you draft players, and each specific team, like I said, gives you a different set of base players, but the more you draft your team, the higher your team overall goes up, and you want to get that into the 90s. So you're definitely going to have to draft smart, and you're going to have to draft to your individual needs. So right here, as you can see, something really cool that they implemented into Draft Champions is player comparison. So I'm kind of stuck whether I should take Evander Kane or if I should take a defenseman. So if I choose Evander Kane, that means Max Domi is gone off the team. As of right now, he's my fourth liner, so if I choose Evander Kane, he's out. He is gone, he is not coming back. So I'm thinking Max Domi isn't that bad. I think I need to choose a defenseman, so I go over to John Klingberg, and I'm going to compare him to Rasmus Ristolainen, and you can see here that Klingberg is quite a bit better, so I'm going to make the choice, and I'm going to strengthen my defensive core with John Klingberg, and usually at the end of your draft, you're going to get a superstar. So Ovi, Crosby, Kane, Drew Doughty. It's really cool to get the chance to use those star players that you normally, maybe the average player would never get to use in Alexander Ovechkin in HUT. So it's very cool, and you also get a team summary. So I mean, this draft was ridiculous, the best draft I've ever had. 94, 92, 92, an absolutely ridiculous draft. You can see my top 3 players there. So you're probably thinking, great, now what happens after I draft my team, and what is this all for? So some drafts aren't going to be quite as good as your other ones. As you can see, this one is only an 89 overall. Not that bad though, still some pretty good players. So once you draft your team, whatever the overall rating is, you are going to be greeted by this screen right here, and it is going to say when to earn better rewards to use in HUT. And you have 4 games to play. If you lose once, you are out. So you want to win as many games as you possibly can. The more games you win, the higher reward you are going to get. So you're probably thinking, well, what is the reward? Well, if you go over into sets in Hockey Ultimate Team, you're going to see Heroes, Trading Post, and then you're going to see Draft Champions. And what you get in your reward is Draft Collectibles, and you can trade these in for a whole bunch of things. So you can trade them in for gold packs, you could trade them in for coins, or you could eventually build up enough Draft Collectibles to trade in for a special player. And I believe these are going to change over the course of the year. There's going to be different players. I can't see them just going with Nicholas Grossman, Ray Emery, and Manny Malhotra, but there is an 88 overall version and there is a 92 overall version of those 3 specific players. And again, I'm 90% sure they're going to change them up throughout the course of the year. And if you're interested in seeing what those cards look like, here they are. You got the Manny Malhotra. I love the blue. It looks so nice with the Ray Emery there. And I actually choose Malhotra over Sidney Crosby. So these cards are going to be extremely valuable, and they are going to be a lot of fun to use, and I'm excited to see what they end up doing with those Draft Champions cards. So say for example you are looking in your team and you're like, I don't like this at all, I want to move on to something cooler, I don't know if I want Nick Lidstrom as a defenseman or as a forward. If you want Nick Lidstrom as a forward, you can do that, and if you want Ovi as a defenseman, you can do that as well. So very cool cool. There's a lot of cool things in Draft Champions this year. I think it's one of the coolest things implemented into Hockey Ultimate Team, and if at any point you don't like your draft, you can forfeit. You say you get a crappy draft or you accidentally messed up on choosing a player, don't worry, you can go right back in and start a whole nother draft free of charge, since there is no buy-in for the HUT Draft Champion. So that is everything you need to know about HUT Draft Champions. I'm super excited to see what you guys can come up with and what crazy drafts you guys are gonna eventually come up with when the game drops. I wish I had more information about the actual reward system and how many draft collectibles you get depending on how many wins you have, but since I have the game early and only a few people do, we haven't been able to match up and actually play quite yet, so I don't know too much about the rewards. But once the game drops, you guys will obviously know everything there is to know, but let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, and I'm just so excited for this because it's so large in the FIFA community, it's so large in the Madden community. It's just incredible to see this in the NHL side of things. I know I've waited for this for a long time, and I'm sure you guys have too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.